right. Let's talk about I don't know if it's considered controversial, but it kind of is. Transfer portal. And college sports, everything from college basketball, college football, to any high level college sports, the transfer portal has come into play quite a bit in the past, I don't know, handful of years, 5, 6, 7, I don't know how many years. Ever since pretty much they eliminated the you had to sit out a year rule, it's really been prominent. Now, and then on top of that, you can transfer, NIL kind of, I guess you can pay stockpile to really increase the transfer portal. My thoughts are, initially I was kind of like the masses. I felt like, oh shit, this is gonna fuck up college football. It's gonna fuck up college it's gonna mess up college sports in general. Then I talked to, a few of my family members and friends who, are big into sports, and a lot of them felt that way. However, I've noticed, and just kind of watching YouTube, seeing more podcasts, hearing from the athletes themselves, coming to the realization a little bit more that, number one, this is part of college sports, athletics. We got to deal with it pretty much like the NIL. It's like the video I did. I was like, just fucking deal with it at the point. It's part of evolution of sports. And then, the rules are changing. We just got to be able to adapt and just understand that. Us as fans, college, athletic fans, some like it. A lot of people don't like it. But, my thoughts are, if I was a 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old kid, I wouldn't like to be handcuffed to a specific college if my coach that recruited me there is not also handcuffed. So I completely understand when the students and, student athlete come and say, hey, the coach can literally leave. Why can't I? And then that's where you have to sit out a year, everything, because then the coach doesn't have to sit out a year. So now I feel, because of the NIL deals, and I feel with the transfer portal, it's a pay for play in a sense. These athletes, these players, they are not obligated to any, college, because, a lot of people are like, well, they're going to pay for your education, all the money they spent for you and all that. I go, yes. And then they also are using these kids, their ability to market make their programs better, their sports program better, where they can make more money. So these kids are your assets to these colleges. So for the kids to be able to, if they want to transfer, we're just going to have to deal with it. I'm actually okay with it, because at that age, if I can, even if I wasn't even in school, if I was working at the age of 19, 20, whatever the case may be, let's just say I was working for Google, if I was working for Facebook, YouTube, whatever the case, I don't necessarily have to stay with them. I can go find another job tomorrow, next day, next week. And nobody would have batted an eye. But because we're fans, we want those student athletes, or in a sense, slaves. I hate to say it. You wanted to enslave them, that you're stuck to this school. You signed the intent to go to this school. You're fucking going there for 4, 5, 6, whatever odd years, and you're stuck with it. And we get upset when the kids changes their mind. We don't understand. These 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids, some of them are going across country. Some of them are coming from a house or a home that is very, I guess you could say low income, or even it can even come from high income. It can come from a loving family, but they're leaving. They're going on their own. And then they get homesick. They get everything from anxiety, depression, all that shit onto a student. And then you have these fans are bitching that, they are changing their minds. They're allowed to change their minds. At least I feel. Keep in mind, this is completely my take. A lot of people are going to hate this take because they feel like, oh, it's fucking up college athletics. I don't think it's messing it up. I think it's evolving. College athletics is completely evolving. Everything from the name, image, and likeness to the transfer portal, everything is evolving. So we're gonna have to change with it in regards of being fans and fandom in regards to specific teams and stuff. So I think them, because there's a lot of people like, well, we got to make them sit out a year. I don't think that's that's kind of going backwards. That's defeats the purpose of evolving. If we can come up with certain criterias, which I am not smart enough to even come up with, that will be up to the the schools or the NCAAs or whoever, the conferences that run that stuff, to come up with criterias for the transfer portal and stuff like that. So to punish somebody, to punish student athletes who are looking to transfer, I think it's the wrong message to give kids just because they may change their mind. Pretty much we're fucking saying you can't change your fucking mind, and if you do, we hate you. We're gonna blah blah blah. You're the worst person who ever came onto this program. I mean, that's just my thoughts. I just feel like it's part of the evolution of college athletics. It's going to be a part of it. And the transfer portal, it's if you want your school to do well, your school better jump in that transfer portal and take advantage of what they can. The funny thing is, I had a conversation with one of my family members, and they're like, they love sports and everything. They love college athletics, and they're like, yeah, transfer portal. This kid left. Well, I can't believe he's gonna leave, and he had a great opportunity here. He was doing great. I can't. This whole transfer portal fucking sucks. I go, well, what happens if a 5-star athlete from such and such decides to transfer to here, and they can literally help your team get over the hump next year to either get into the Final Four, get into the national championship game? Would you just say no and make sure that person sits? Let's just say there was a 30-second quietness, be like, type of deal talk. So that's just kind of my idea. That's just kind of my thoughts, my feelings about the transfer portal. I think it's definitely, I don't know if it's going to kill college athletics. I just think it's just evolving into a different realm, and we shall see in the next couple of years where it takes. And we'll see if the transfer portal is going to have any different criterias, any more regulations, which that's going to be tough to do. I think everything is kind of open book in a sense now, so we shall see, man. I'm interested. I'm interested to see how you guys feel about this. Don't hate on me. That was just kind of my, I was looking, I totally believed one side, and then after conversation, I see the other side. So student athlete side, that's what I see.